The story begins in the cold and silent edge of the solar system, far beyond the planets where sunlight is only a weak glow. A small human research team travels inside an old space station called Horizon 9. They are there to study a strange object discovered by long-range scanners. The object looks like a ruin, old metal, broken towers and dark tunnels floating in space. No one knows who built it. Inside the station, the scientists move carefully. Their voices echo in the empty hall. Dust floats like snow, and walls shine with unknown carvings. The air smells like metal and something ancient. It is clear that this place has existed for thousands of years, maybe more. Dr. Lien, a young researcher with sharp eyes and a quiet nature, walks ahead of the team. She feels something unusual in the air, something like a silent whisper. She touches a symbol on the wall, and suddenly the ruin lights up with blue energy. Everyone jumps. "Was that you?" one scientist asks. "I think it reacted to my touch," Lien says softly. The floor beneath them vibrates. A hidden panel opens, projecting a long beam of blue light. Inside the beam, small symbols appear, turning slowly like stars in a galaxy. Lien watches them closely. The symbols start forming words in human language, something the ruin is translating automatically. The message reads, "Judgment of Earth begins." The scientists stare at each other in shock. They try to read more of the message, but the symbols scatter like sand in the wind. Only a few clearer lines remain. Unknown empire approaches. Earth is unprepared. Panic spreads in the room. One scientist quickly records everything. Another tries to connect with Earth Command. "This is an old message," the station commander says finally. "Maybe thousands of years old. Let's not overreact." But Dr. Lien feels uneasy. She sees something in the message that no one else notices. Hidden behind the main text is a tiny blinking symbol. It blinks slowly like a heartbeat. She leans closer, enlarging it. Her heart stops for a moment. "It's a countdown," she whispers. The others turn quickly. "Hey, what?" "A countdown timer, and it is still running." The numbers slowly tick downward. No one knows when it started, but it is clear where it will end: 0. Back on Earth, leaders from every major nation gather to discuss the discovery. They watch the recordings, they listen to the scientists, but most of them laugh. "This ruin is ancient," one leader says. "It cannot be talking about us." "It's probably a warning for a war that happened long ago," another adds. Only a few experts agree with Dr. Lien, but their voices are weaker than the fear of political tension. No one wants to cause global panic. So the governments choose an easier answer: ignore it, hide it, and move on. But the universe does not care about human decisions. While Earth debates, astronomers across the world see something terrifying. Telescopes detect strange lights far beyond Neptune. At first they think it is a comet or debris. But the objects move too smoothly, too fast, too perfectly aligned. It is a formation, a fleet, a massive alien armada traveling straight toward Earth. The news spreads like fire. Social media explodes with rumors. People run to shops, start arguments, prepare emergency bags, and gather their families. Schools close. Streets fill with fear. World leaders finally understand that the warning might be real. Inside a deep observation center, Lien watches the growing fleet displayed on a giant screen. Each alien ship is bigger than any human ship. Their speed is unnatural. "They are not slowing down," a military officer says. "They are coming." Lien feels her chest tighten. She thinks about the countdown in the ruin. She checks the timer again. It now flashes with red light, ticking down faster than before. Something is coming. Something deadly. As the panic rises, Lien continues studying the messages recovered from the ancient ruin. Most of them are damaged, broken, or lost in corrupted data. But she refuses to give up. She spends hours cleaning signals, rebuilding lines, and translating hidden text. Then she finds something. A hidden layer beneath the warnings, another message locked behind complex alien symbols. She slowly decodes it. When the final line appears, her hands start shaking. The message says, "Earth's oldest fleet sleeps under your oceans. When the sky burns, they will rise." Lien reads it again and again. It sounds impossible. A fleet under the oceans? Ships older than human history? How could something so powerful remain hidden for so long? She takes her discovery to the Global Council. But they stare at her with disbelief. "So now you are telling us there are alien warships under our oceans?" One politician says with a laugh. "This is not a movie." Another adds, "We already have one alien fleet coming. We don't need imaginary ones." Lien walks out with frustration in her eyes. She knows what she saw. She knows the message is real. And she knows Earth is running out of time. Outside the building, she looks up at the night sky. It is peaceful, calm, and bright. But she imagines the silent fleet moving closer, hidden in the darkness. And somewhere deep inside the oceans, something stirs. Something massive. Something ancient. Something waiting. The countdown moves toward zero. The sky is about to burn. And Earth has no idea what is coming next. The countdown moved closer to zero, and the alien armada continued its silent journey toward Earth. Every telescope, every satellite, and every radar system now showed the same terrifying truth. The enemy fleet was huge and unstoppable. Across the world, fear spread like a shadow. Some people prayed. Some people ran. And some simply stared at the sky, waiting for something, anything, to happen. World leaders finally understood the danger. Crisis meetings started every hour. The United Nations Command Center, normally calm and organized, now looked like a battlefield of papers, screens, and shouting officers. Dr. Lien stood in the middle of the chaos. Her hands trembled, but her mind remained clear. She remembered the last message from the ruin. When the sky burns, they will rise. At first, no one believed her. Now everyone listened. The alien fleet grew closer. Massive shapes floated through the darkness of space. Dark metal, long wings, glowing engines. Their formation was perfect, like a storm of knives pointed toward Earth. In the Pentagon War Room, a general reported, "Their fleet is traveling faster than anything we have ever seen. We estimate contact in 3 days." 3 days. That was the entire time humanity had left. Governments ordered all space forces to prepare defenses. Ships from every nation gathered near Earth, hundreds of small fighters, a few large cruisers, and 1 or 2 heavy carriers. But standing against the alien fleet was like a group of wooden boats facing a hurricane. Everyone knew it. Yet no one had another choice. The first strike. On the second day, the alien fleet arrived at Neptune's orbit. Cameras zoomed in, capturing the terrifying sight. Their ships were shaped like dark spears, each one glowing with red energy lines. The alien symbols on their hulls flashed like burning eyes. Then something unexpected happened. One of the alien ships opened fire. A bright beam of energy shot across the solar system and struck a human research base on Neptune's moon, Triton. The entire base disappeared in one flash. Not destroyed, erased. All communications went silent. Earth watched in horror. "This was only a warning," a scientist whispered. General Morozov slammed his fist on the table. "They're sending a message, they will not negotiate." Fear turned into chaos. People across Earth started evacuating to underground shelters. News channels reported every rumor, every scream, every explosion of fear. Families called each other, not knowing if they would survive the next 3 days. Up in the command center, Dr. Lien stared at the ruins of the Triton base, replaying the destruction again and again. The alien beam wasn't just powerful, it was too powerful. "It's the same technology," she whispered. "The same technology that destroyed the ancient civilization." Her mind raced. If the ancient people left a fleet for humans, then they must have known the enemy would return one day. The countdown in the ruin was not just a timer. It was a prediction. A warning about this exact invasion. Searching the oceans. Dr. Lien went to the global security chief and said, "We need to scan the oceans. Right now." He frowned. "We already scanned once." "That was surface scanning," Lien said. "I mean deep scan. All oceans. Every trench. Every seafloor. Something is down there." He hesitated. But after watching the alien fleet destroy the Triton base, he agreed. Within hours, submarines, drones, and deep sonar systems began scanning Earth's oceans. They scanned the Atlantic first. Nothing. Then the Indian Ocean. Nothing. Then the Arctic. Nothing. Finally, they arrived at the Pacific Ocean, the deepest and largest of all. As the scans reached the Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth, the sonar screen suddenly shook. Large shapes appeared. Very large. Too large. At first the operators thought it was a glitch. But every machine gave the same reading. Enormous metallic objects resting on the ocean floor. Objects shaped like ships. Massive ancient ships. "Do you see this?" an operator whispered. This can't be real." Dr. Lien's heart raced. "Show me a full render." The screen zoomed in and everyone in the room froze. There were 12 gigantic structures deep under the ocean. Their surfaces were covered in alien symbols, the same symbols from the ruins in space. The ships were long, curved, covered with plates like armored scales. They looked asleep. Silent. Buried. Waiting. The air in the control room turned cold. A submarine sent towards the trench reported high electromagnetic readings. Strange waves of energy pulsed from the structures, like a heartbeat, slow but steady. "Should we wake them?" someone asked. "No," Lien said quickly. "They are not ours to control. They will wake when the moment is right." Her voice echoed through the quiet room. She remembered the message clearly. When the sky burns. The sky begins to burn. Suddenly alarms across all continents started ringing. The alien fleet had reached Jupiter. And they fired again. This time the target was not Triton. It was a human defense ship stationed near Jupiter, one of Earth's best. The alien beam cut through the ship like paper. The explosion lit up the entire planet's atmosphere. Even from Earth, telescopes recorded the bright flash. The sky had begun to burn. Dr. Lien looked at the countdown one more time. It was almost at zero. Humanity stood on the edge of destruction. The alien fleet was closer than ever. The oceans trembled with ancient power. Something was about to wake. Something older than human history. Something built for war. Something rising in righteous fury. The next part of the story was about to begin. The countdown reached its final hours. The alien armada crossed Jupiter's orbit, moving like a dark wave of metal. Every human leader, every scientist, every soldier on Earth felt one truth rising inside them. The end was coming. But deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, something else was preparing. Something ancient. Something powerful. Something left behind for this exact moment. The trembling sea. At 3:12 a.m., sensors all across the Pacific detected a strange vibration. At first it felt like a small earthquake. Then the shaking grew stronger. Waves rose higher. Seabirds screamed and flew away. Fishermen near the coast felt their boats rocking violently. In a naval base, a young officer stared at his monitor. "Sir, the Mariana Trench is shaking." "How strong?" the commander asked. "Very strong. Like something huge is moving down there." The commander frowned. "Plates shifting?" The officer shook his head. "No, sir. This movement is too organized. Too controlled." At the same moment, Dr. Lien sat inside the Global Monitoring Center watching sonar maps. Shapes on the screen shifted. Lines of energy pulsed from the trench like heartbeat waves. The ancient structures were waking up. Her chest tightened. "It's beginning," she whispered. "The alien threat approaches." Far above, the alien fleet passed Mars. They no longer hid their power. Massive beams of light flashed from their hulls, testing their weapons, warming them like blades before battle. Videos streamed across Earth showing their approach. Giant ships shaped like spears, dark and silent, moving in perfect formation. A news reporter trembled as she spoke on live TV. "They will reach Earth orbit within hours." The global military prepared all forces. Space stations powered up missiles. Defense satellites charged railguns. Every country sent its ships, fighters and carriers into orbit, even though everyone knew it wouldn't be enough. Inside the command center, a general spoke with a heavy voice. "Even with our full strength, we cannot win." Dr. Lien didn't look at him. She kept her eyes on the ocean map. "There is something down there," she said. "Something that belongs to us. But it is not human-built." The awakening begins. In the deepest part of the ocean, the ancient ships started to glow. Blue lines of energy lit up their hulls, first weak, then stronger. Sediment burst upward as the ground beneath the trench cracked open. The water around the ships boiled. A submarine nearby sent frantic reports. Energy levels rising. Structures are moving. The ocean floor is opening. Metal plates on the ships unfolded like wings. Circular runes on their surfaces rotated slowly, shining brighter every second. The captain of the submarine shouted into the radio. "There are lights, down here. Big lights. Something is waking up. We need to pull back, now." But the sea was no longer safe. A shockwave fired from the trench, so strong it pushed the submarine upward like a toy. Then a low, deep sound echoed across the ocean. A roar. Not mechanical. Not animal. Something in between. Something alive. Something ancient. Dr. Lien stood up from her seat as the sound vibrated through the speakers. "That is not a machine awakening," she said slowly. "That is a memory waking. Rising from the deep." The first ancient ship moved. It lifted from the ocean floor, pushing water aside in a massive swirl. Its body was long and curved, covered with armor plates shaped like scales. Blue and gold lines ran across it like veins. The ship rose higher, higher, until its shadow reached the surface. People on nearby islands saw the ocean bulge upward. Fishermen dropped their nets. Tourists screamed and ran. And then, boom. A colossal ship burst out of the water, sending a tower of waves rising around it. Lightning-like energy arced across the sky. Clouds twisted into spirals. Humans stared in shock as the massive vessel hovered above the ocean, dripping water like rain. It didn't look human. It didn't look alien. It looked like something built by a civilization older than recorded history. And it was only the first. Minutes later, another ship rose. Then another. Then 4 more. Then all 12, breaking the ocean's surface like metal giants returning from a long sleep. Each ship was different, some shaped like curved wings, others like floating towers, others like giant armored dragons. But all shared the same ancient symbols and glowing blue energy. The sky shook with their power. The message of the ancients. As the fleet assembled above the Pacific, a global broadcast suddenly activated. No one pressed the button. No human hacked the system. The message came directly from the ancient ships. A deep, echoing voice spoke in a language older than history, but every human heard it in their own tongue. This planet is under our protection. Every soldier froze. Every leader stared. Every child looked up at the sky. The voice continued. Enemies of Earth approach. They have returned to finish what they began. But we rise again. For your survival. And for justice. Dr. Lien covered her mouth with trembling hands. She understood now. The ancient fleet wasn't just a weapon. It was a legacy. A promise made by a lost civilization. To defend the future humans who inherited their world. Earth unites. The world changed in a single moment. Video of the rising fleet spread across the internet. People who were panicking now stared in awe. For the first time in days, hope returned. The global military quickly moved to connect with the ancient ships. Engineers worked night and day trying to understand the blue energy signals. Pilots volunteered to link human ships with the ancient fleet. Humanity, once afraid, now had strength beside them. A power older than the alien enemy. A power awakened by destiny. Dr. Lien stood at the command screen, tears in her eyes. They woke up, she whispered. They really woke up, for us. Above her, the 12 ancient ships formed a massive formation over the Pacific. They turned slowly, aiming their glowing hulls toward space, toward the approaching alien armada. The greatest battle in Earth's history was about to begin. The ancient fleet hovered above the Pacific Ocean like 12 glowing giants. Their blue energy lit up the night sky, turning the clouds into bright silver. People around the world watched live broadcasts with wide eyes and beating hearts. For the first time since the alien armada was detected, Earth felt hope. But hope alone was not enough. The alien fleet was still coming, fast. And Earth had only hours left. A new alliance begins. Inside the global command center, every screen showed the same scene, the ancient ships rising higher into the sky. Dr. Lien stood in front of the main holographic map, trying to understand the strange energy readings. These ships, she whispered, they are syncing with our systems. A military engineer turned from his console. Syncing? With what? With us, she said. With humanity. He blinked. Like they're trying to connect? Yes. At that moment, one of the ancient ships emitted a pulse of blue energy. It spread across the ocean, across the land, across the whole planet. Satellites, radars, and communication towers picked up the signal. It wasn't an attack. It was an invitation. A digital handshake. A message from the ancient fleet. We stand with you. General Morozov stared at the glowing screens. Then let's not waste time. Connect them to our forces. Learning the ancient technology. In military bases across the world, engineers, pilots, and tech experts rushed to work. They plugged in cables. Opened old terminals. Connected human ships to the energy wave. And something incredible happened. Human warships, tiny compared to the ancient giants, began to glow with the same blue light. Their engines grew stronger. Their shields activated. Their weapons charged faster. A pilot inside an orbital fighter shouted, "My ship just powered up. I didn't touch anything." Another reported, "I've never seen our missiles charge this fast." The ancient fleet was upgrading Earth's technology. But not by teaching humans. By aligning with them. By sharing power. Dr. Lien watched the data pour into her screen. They're linking their systems, she said softly. They want us to fight beside them. She understood something deeper too. The ancient civilization never meant for humans to be weak. They meant for humans to rise. Preparing for the incoming battle. Earth's defense ships moved into formation. Carriers took positions near the moon. Fighters launched one after another, leaving bright trails behind them. Large cruisers aligned their cannons and railguns. A massive hologram of the alien fleet appeared above the command table. They were minutes away from Earth orbit. The room went silent. Some soldiers whispered prayers. Some stared at their screens, sweating quietly. Some tried to act brave but failed. And then the doors opened. A wave of bright blue light filled the room. Dr. Lien turned around. A holographic figure stood before them, the same voice that had spoken earlier. A guardian of the ancient fleet. A projection shaped like a tall warrior with glowing armor and no face. The entire command center fell silent. The hologram spoke. "Prepare yourselves. You do not fight alone. Together we will face the darkness." General Morozov stepped forward. "Can we win?" The ancient guardian tilted its head. "Victory is never certain. But today, you hold the power of the old and the strength of the new. Fight with courage. We will stand with you." And the hologram vanished. With that, the command center transformed from fear to confidence. Humanity was no longer small. No longer helpless. They were united with a civilization older than the stars. The alien armada arrives. Outside, space twisted with white light. The alien fleet appeared near the moon. Black metal, red symbols, deadly silence. Thousands of ships. Different sizes, different shapes. All weapons ready. Their commander sent a message across the solar system. "Earth will fall. Surrender or be erased." Nobody answered. Instead, every screen on Earth displayed one symbol. The glowing mark of the ancient fleet. And then, the sky turned blue. All 12 ancient ships rose from the atmosphere, glowing brighter than lightning. Clouds spiraled around them. Their energy resonated like thunder. Human ships formed around them, shining with upgraded power. Together they moved into space. Together they formed the largest defense force Earth had ever seen. The alien commander repeated, "Surrender." Humanity finally replied, "No." The battle begins. The first alien beam shot toward Earth, but before it could hit, an ancient ship moved like a blur, intercepting the attack. A massive shield appeared around the planet, glowing blue and silver. The alien commander was shocked. The shield held. Dr. Lien saw it from the command center and whispered, "It works, it actually works." Then Earth fought back. Human cruisers fired railguns. Fighters launched missiles. Ancient ships unleashed beams of pure energy, bright blue like burning stars. The alien ships broke formation, firing wildly, trying to destroy the shield, trying to overwhelm the defense. But they could not match the combined force of humanity and the ancient fleet. One alien ship exploded. Then another. Then 5 more. Space lit up with fire and debris. The alien commander roared orders, sending larger ships toward Earth. The battle intensified. Human pilots flew with new speed. Ancient ships teleported short distances, appearing behind enemy ships and slicing them apart with precision beams. The Earth-Moon space became a storm of light. Humanity steps forward. In the middle of the chaos, Dr. Lien received a direct signal from one of the ancient ships. It wasn't a warning. It wasn't a system update. It was a request. "Join us. You have the will to fight. We have the power to guide." Humanity was no longer a passenger in this battle. They were equals. Partners. Allies. Dr. Lien felt tears in her eyes. "We're not just being saved," she said softly. "We're fighting with them." The battle was far from over. The alien armada still held overwhelming numbers. Their largest warship, a titanic dreadnought, was approaching. But Earth now stood strong. With ancient fire. With human courage. With a united fleet. The greatest fight in human history had begun. And humanity was ready. The ancient fleet moved like a silent storm. Millions of people across Earth watched on global screens as the enormous ships rose from their underground hangars. Dust, clouds, and thunder wrapped around them as if the sky itself was afraid. For the first time in thousands of years, humanity saw its forgotten power come alive again. The Council's warships waited at the edge of Earth's orbit. They expected fear. They expected surrender. They expected the weak humans they always talked about. But what came out of Earth shocked the entire galaxy. The oldest fleet, known in ancient records as the Righteous Armada, activated in full strength. Dozens of colossal dreadnoughts, ships older than the Council itself, powered on with golden energy lines burning across their hulls. Each ship was bigger than the mountains they once slept under. No human alive had ever seen them move before. Yet the fleet obeyed Earth's command perfectly. The young alien officer, Coral, who had tried to warn the Council, felt his heart freeze. He had seen the strange human signal earlier, but this was beyond anything he imagined. He whispered in fear, How did they build such ships thousands of years ago? The council leader growled, refusing to accept the truth. These are ancient relics. They cannot threaten us. But as soon as he finished speaking, Earth's fleet formed a perfect attack formation, something only the oldest warrior races of the galaxy used. Commanders gasped. Officers panicked. They had never trained for something like this. On Earth, the command center lit up with excited voices. Fleet online. Engines 100%. Weapons fully charged. But then, silence. Everyone waited for the first strike. The galaxy held its breath. And then, without warning, the lead human dreadnought opened a narrow communication channel to the council. A calm, cold voice spoke. A voice with no fear. You judged humanity without knowing our past. You attacked us without understanding our strength. Now, you will face the oldest power of Earth. The council ships backed away in panic, but it was too late. The oldest fleet fired. A blinding wave of energy spread through space, shaking everything around it. Council shields cracked instantly. Their ships spun out of control. The young officer could only watch as their entire formation fell apart. Humans did not chase. They did not shout. They did not show anger. They simply advanced, silent, unstoppable, furious. The galaxy realized a terrifying truth. Humanity had awakened, and nothing would ever be the same again. The council fleet was broken. Their ships drifted in space like wounded beasts, lights flickering, alarms screaming. The proud commanders who once laughed at Earth now stared in fear, unable to believe what they were seeing. Earth's oldest fleet did not slow down. The giant dreadnoughts moved forward, calm and steady, their golden energy lines glowing like ancient fire. Every ship looked like a floating mountain, carved by forgotten gods. Across the galaxy, hundreds of species watched the broadcast in shock. Humans had these ships, all this time? How did Earth hide such power? What are they planning now? No one had answers. Inside the council flagship, panic grew. Officers shouted over one another. Retreat. No, hold formation. We are losing shields. We cannot fight them. The council leader, once arrogant, now shook with fear. His voice cracked. Send a message to Earth, ask for peace. But Earth did not respond. The oldest fleet surrounded the council armada in a perfect circle. Every dreadnought faced inward, guns locked, engines burning with silent fury. It was not an attack, it was a warning. Then one human voice echoed through every ship, every screen, every corner of space. Humanity does not seek destruction. But we will never accept slavery, judgment, or fear. The young alien officer, Coral, listened carefully. He had warned the council, but they refused to believe. Now, seeing Earth's power, he understood something deeper, something terrifying and beautiful. Humans were not a weak race. They were a sleeping giant. The voice continued. You attacked our world without cause. You called us Level 0. You decided our future without our voice. Now the galaxy must learn the truth. Humanity chooses its own destiny. The dreadnoughts powered down their main weapons, but their engines remained hot, ready to fire again at a moment's notice. The council leader finally broke. We surrender. We accept Earth's independence. The council will never interfere again. For a long moment nothing happened. Then the human commander replied. Your war is over. Return to your worlds. Remember what you saw today. Slowly, painfully, the council ships retreated, limping away like defeated shadows. The oldest fleet watched them leave but did not follow. They floated above Earth, glowing like guardians of an ancient promise. On Earth, billions cheered, cried, and hugged one another. Humanity had done the impossible. They had stood against the galaxy, and won. The young officer Coral sent one final message to Earth. I will speak the truth to the galaxy. I will tell them what you really are, not monsters but warriors with honor. The oldest fleet slowly returned to orbit, forming a protective shield around the blue planet. Earth had awakened from its long sleep, stronger than ever. The galaxy understood a new reality. Earth was no longer a small, ignored world. It was a rising power. A force that walked with ancient fury and righteous strength. And this was only the beginning.